Hey guys! Today we are going to be making some of these super cute, super awesome rosette wands. These can be used for so many different things. You can use them as decor, you can stick them in a vase, but you could also make a super cute princess wand out of them, as you can decorate them any way you like. So as you can see, this one is made pretty Christmassy and the first one was pretty springy, so the possibilities are endless. What you're going to need is some patterned paper. I use double-sided so that way there's a pattern on both sides. And your embellishments, I chose to use some flowers that I had and some rhinestones. Then you're going to need a paper straw, or you can use a wooden dowel to create your handle. And then some ribbon. And also your hot glue gun. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score our paper. Now you can see I'm using a scoreboard. If you don't have one of those, that's okay. Basically what you need to do is you need to mark out every ½ inch. So with my scoreboard, I'm going to use a bone folder, and it kind of just scores in those creases that you see in the board. So if you don't have one of these, you can take a ruler and you can mark out every ½ inch. And if you wanted to, you can do vertical lines all the way down so you know exactly where to fold, but it's entirely up to you. I'm going to use my scoreboard and I'm going to do every ½ inch starting with a half. So we're going to do half, 1, 1.5, 2, and we're going to continue that all the way across this 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Now we need to cut our paper into strips. So for the larger size, you're going to need 2 3-inch by 12-inch strips. And for the smaller size, you're going to want to make that one a ½ inch smaller than however your biggest one is. So for this one, we're going to do 2 strips that are 2.5 by 12 each. Now we need to fold our strips of paper to create our rosette. So fold each line that you've scored, and you're going to accordion style. So you're going to go back and forth in opposite directions until you've gotten through the entire piece. Do this for all 4 strips of paper that you cut. Now that everything's folded, we need to create a centerpiece for our closure to hold it together when we glue it. So you can use a small spool of ribbon, you can use a small circular shaped anything. You want it to be about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. I use a paper punch. So I am going to punch these out, and you're going to need 4. You need 1 for the front and back of each of your rosettes. Now we need to glue our pieces together. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue both ends, and you're going to want to make sure that you folded it the same way. So you're going to take your glue gun and you are going to add a strip of glue to one side, and you'll stick that to the other. So now we're going to create one big piece. You're going to want to make sure that the way you folded it, those pieces you glue together face up so it matches the rest. You're going to do this to both ends on all 4 of our strips of paper. So glue the 3 by 12s together and glue the 2.5 by 12s together on both sides to make a circle. Now that we have it glued together, we need to put on our centerpieces so it holds it down and stays flat. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to collapse your rosette so it's flat on your table, and add some hot glue around the center. You're going to want to use a decent amount, and then you're going to take your round piece that you've cut out, and you're going to want to hold it there until that glue dries. So you make sure that it doesn't expand back out and it stays together nice and tight. So you want to do this on both sides of each of your rosette pieces. It will try and spring up on you. Just make sure you hold it down and make sure you use lots of glue so it gives it a very secure hold. Once everything's glued together and you have your centerpieces on, you want to add your handle. Now the way I do mine, I usually make it so the creases are facing out to the side. You can do this either way you want, but I like to make it kind of symmetrical. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one of the creases and you're going to add some glue and stick your straw right in between there, or your wooden dowel, whatever you're using for your handle, and make sure it's long enough and it has a very secure hold. I have all of my ribbons cut here. You can cut them to be the same length or you can do different lengths. I like to use some lace, some satin ribbon, and then skinnier non-wired, and then I use the colored baker's twine to attach my bells. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna want to cut all your ribbon, whatever size you want, and then you need to layer it together, and then you will tie it on the top. So when you tie it, the more ribbons you have, the thicker your knot's gonna be. So you wanna make sure that you don't add too many, or it's going to be hard to put your top rosette onto the bottom with it staying flat and not being uneven. So once you get it tied together, then you can trim everything up how you like it. Now we're gonna add the smaller rosette to the top. Now you can choose whether you want to use the same pattern facing up or the opposite pattern facing up. I'm gonna use opposite pattern facing up. And what you wanna do is make sure that your knot is as flat as it can be. If it doesn't seem flat and it seems like your top rosette's not gonna lay flat, just pull that knot a little tighter, press it in a little more. And then you're just gonna add some glue to those center circles and line it up the best you can. I have my creases going opposite way this time. It's up to you, it's your own preference. Then glue it together. Our last step is to decorate the front and the back, if you want, of our rosette. So I am using some pre-cut flowers, and you can use virtually anything. Whatever theme you're going for, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to place these flowers how I like them. I'm gonna pop them up and get them the way they look the best. You can add silk flowers, you can do a shaker on the front. Really, the possibilities of decorating these things are pretty endless. So this is kind of springy, kind of floral, so I'm just gonna add these flowers. I'm gonna add a few to the front and then add a few to the back. Then I'm going to put some rhinestones in the middle to make them sparkle, just because I like all things sparkly. And then we're done.